I know it's kind of weird to talk about offensive line play and cuteness. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys, where we're going to give you a little exclusive here on a rumor that's out there, and we're going to shut it down. There's no room for cute in offensive line play. Oh, okay, maybe a little, but not much room for cute in offensive line play or in the building of an offensive line, or in the case of the Cowboys in 2021, the rebuilding of an offensive line. And so while I do understand the reason that the blogger community, no offense, has decided to do this with Zach Martin and his brother Nick, because they're brothers and they played together at Notre Dame and they love each other. And Nick, after all, was a second-round pick, and in April he turns 28, so he got a lot of football ahead of him, obviously. And they both went to Notre Dame, and they were teammates there, and they're best friends. And Zach, of course, was a first-round pick of the Cowboys. Nick becomes a second-round pick of the Texans. They're right here in the same state. Wouldn't it be cute if... Oh, and by the way, Nick has been released by the Texans in what some people are calling a cap move, and they did save $6 million by doing that. But I'm here to tell you it wasn't just a cap move. If you talk to people who watch Nick's work on film, he just didn't play very well. And the reason that the deposed Houston Texans boss, Bill O'Brien, among the reasons, gave him a big 3-year contract not too long ago, and now a contract that the Texans have torn up, is because he was, to use the Jason Garrett vernacular, right kind of guy. O'Brien had some other way of describing it, but he is. I mean, he's good and he's smart and he's a hard worker, a good guy, and he's smart and he's a hard worker, but he's not a good enough player. And so I asked a couple Cowboy people in the last couple days. I'm seeing these stories about Nick Martin to the Cowboys, and they're like, that's not our plan. This is really similar in another way to the Corey Linsley idea. That story was out there. Cowboys are going to sign an all-pro center from Green Bay. That one would be pricey to do. And then he'd come here and be great. And he'd be better than the Wisconsin second-year guy now, Tyler Biadasz. But Nick Martin wouldn't be better than the Wisconsin kid. Not in the opinion of the Cowboys. He would not come here and beat out Tyler Biadasz for the center job. Do they, in Dallas, need a guy that can back up the interior spot? As we've discussed before, Connor McGovern can do that. If they want to have a veteran on their bench, they can re-sign Joe Looney and have him do that. Joe Looney is like a brother to more guys in that locker room than Nick Martin is. So they feel like they already have backup depth here, young backup depth, that would not cause them to go out and sign a player just because he's somebody's brother. That, of course, is a bad way to do business anyway. There's a lot of things that this offensive line group needs to do together, and as we've detailed, it starts with let's get clarity on Tyron Smith at left tackle so we can move forward. Let's make sure Lyle Collins understands that offseason is no time to get heavy. Let's get the Wisconsin rookie to be even better than he was last year. By the way, I've seen some things where he didn't grade out well last year, the Wisconsin rookie. He graded out just fine inside the star. And I say this with all due respect to the Pro Football Focus people, and because I admire the challenge that they're undertaking there. Think about this. They've got different people in different cities, sitting in different chairs, watching all these games, and trying to grade all these people from all these different teams, all the positions, every week, using the same grading scale, except that it's different graders. It's impossible to get that right. It's also virtually impossible to get it right when you're trying to grade. You're watching 22 guys. How do you grade all 22 guys on one play? So I admire the effort. Oh, and there's one other problem too, with the Pro Football Focus approach. Again, I say this with all due respect and admiration. How do I know what that guy's job was? How do I know that this play call called for that guard to block that guy? And then I'm looking at the film going, oh, he missed his block. But how do I know that was his block? How do I know for sure that when I'm watching secondary coverage, oh, he blew the coverage? How do I know that for sure? Unless I know what his assignment was. So I'm sitting in a chair somewhere in Cincinnati and I'm watching Cowboy Lions film and I'm taking my very best educated guess. And it's not as good as the very best educated, better than guess that's happening when the team grades its own guys or when a team grades the other team. The advanced scouting, again, it's not as good as self-scouting because Cowboy scouts know what the play was. They know what the assignment was. They know what was supposed to happen, and it can register for them exactly. Oh, that's what's supposed to happen. This didn't happen. You can't do that when you're watching Cowboy film and you don't know exactly what the assignment was. You can't do it as well as the Cowboys do it. So when the Cowboys tell me that their Wisconsin rookie center graded out just fine, and when teammates tell me that they were amazed at his learning curve and where he's going as a player, that's the end of the conversation. A Cowboy person told me this morning, the Wisconsin kid is our center. Can that change? Of course it can change. Things change. Guys get hurt. What about Joe Looney? What if Joe Looney leaves? And then we're sitting there at training camp and somebody gets hurt and you're a body short. That could change things. Just like I said about Connor Lindsley. What if for some reason he'd just always been dying to play for half as much as he's worth because he just wants to play for the Cowboys so bad? I don't know very much about Connor Lindsley. I'm sorry, the center from Green Bay, Corey Lindsley. I don't think that's what he's thinking. I do imagine that Nick Martin would think it was fun to be on the same team with his brother. I do imagine that Zach would think it would be fun to be on the same team. And if you're in the business of writing stories about the Cowboys or doing video reports about the Cowboys, all the stuff we do, radio reports, it's cute. Brothers on the same team. How cool is that? You saw the reality of this with J.J. Watt, however. I don't know that the Steelers were ever on his list. First of all, he said he wanted to go to a contender. And I don't know that the Steelers are that. And then he said he wanted to be with a championship caliber quarterback. Big Ben's resume says he's that, but his performance, certainly last year, when his arm on throws seemed to move about this fast, did not look like a championship quarterback last year. Then I think he had money somewhere on his list. Now he ends up going to Arizona and the Cardinals, making you think that maybe the three things I just gave you, that he turned him upside down. That it was mostly about money, which is, by the way, fine. And that he believes in Kyler Murray and the rest. But at what point did he ever think, what I want to do, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the championships. I don't care about the quarterback. I just want to go play with my brothers. J.J. Watt, of course, has two brothers who play for the Steelers. I think I can tell you that while one of those brothers is a defensive MVP candidate last couple of years in the NFL, Cowboy fans are familiar with him. The other brother, isn't he like the backup fullback? I mean, they can't keep the one brother just because they love the other brother, and Dallas is in the same boat. Dallas is not going to do Nick Martin just because they love Zach Martin. That would be a good story and a bad idea and way too cute. And there's no room for cute in an NFL offensive line. Fish, out.